Every word Mikel Arteta said about West Ham, PSV, Saka, Martinelli, and Arsenal's title chances. Every word from Mikel Arteta's pre-match press conference with Arsenal ahead of the Premier League clash with West Ham, including team news and reaction to the UEFA Champions League draw against PSV Eindhoven. Mikel Arteta was speaking ahead of Arsenal's encounter with West Ham United and following the draw for the UEFA Champions League round of 16 against PSV Eindhoven. The latest team news was discussed along with some insights regarding Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli. There was also plenty of perspective and grounding regarding the title race after Liverpool dropped more points. The Gunners can take control again, but they will rely on Manchester City to do them a favor. No real news, to be fair. The long-term absentees remain unavailable, and the rest, no real news. Ben White was obviously on the bench on Saturday. Do you think he's ready to potentially start? He's ready to play. Whether he starts or not is a decision we will make tomorrow, but he is certainly available now to be part of the group. A question about the Champions League. You have PSV Eindhoven in the round of 16. What's your reaction to that? Do you see it as a great opportunity to reach another quarterfinal? Well, we've played against them. They are a very good team. We know that. We've been through it, and it will be very difficult, just like any other result in the Champions League that we could have faced or any team. We know what we're up against. When you're at this stage, every team is very, very good. When the time comes, we will be ready for it. Just in terms of the title race, Mikel, you saw Liverpool drop points in 2 of their last 3 games. If you beat West Ham, it's a 5-point gap ahead of their game against Manchester City. Is there a growing belief from you and your players that you can come back and claim this title? Well, we have to do our job. It will be difficult tomorrow against West Ham. If we do that, obviously, we will look at the game on Sunday. There are still 13 games left. There's still a lot to play for. You can see how difficult it is for everyone to win football matches. We really need to be there. I know you love watching these big games. Will you be glued to your TV on Sunday, hoping your friend Pep can do you a favor? I'm glued to tomorrow's game. That's where my focus is. But in general, when you watch these other games, are you a good spectator? What does that mean? Like, do you just watch and manage to relax? No, I don't relax. Especially when you're playing for this team, you obviously can't relax. I relax watching games that don't interfere with our ability to win big trophies. This is the 3rd season now that you've been involved and really engaged in a consecutive title race. What experiences do you think you can draw from what happened in the last 2 seasons to maybe take you over the line this time? The margins are so small, and everything counts. We had numbers that any other Premier League title you could have won, and we didn't win. So that shows the level and the difficulty of it. But the fact that we've experienced that obviously helps because we know what it will take to do it. I spoke with Mikel Merino yesterday, and he was saying that it might have been a good thing he only found out on the morning of the game that he could be used up front. I'm assuming you might have given him a bit more warning this time before this game, right? No, not for him or other players. Mainly because I want the players to feel what they are doing on that pitch and take the initiative, and I don't blame them. They're thinking about what would happen if tomorrow I had to do certain things. That's why I did it. That decision to deploy Merino as an improvised striker against Leicester was labeled by some as a worthwhile experiment. I just wonder, is that how you describe it too, or is there more to it than that? Well, if there's anything we didn't do or he didn't do in his career, it's try a cold experiment, that's for sure. In the end, it's about trying to fit the qualities we have within the squad, within the players to really want to deliver. What the game is demanding or what the opponent is demanding, I would take it more in that aspect than in the other. But then it has to work. If it doesn't, it's not the right decision. Considering you're basically competing for the title without a recognized striker at the moment, is there any young forward or perhaps a hidden gem you're paying special attention to right now, with a view to a quick rise to the first team? Yes, obviously we are. Some of the players are training with us regularly now and have been in our system for a while. But they are very, very close, and obviously we may have to use them. And they seem ready too, which is a good thing. So a situation like this is an opportunity for some? Yes, for sure. And it can happen at any moment. And I've talked about them, so they are ready for it. So, West Ham is next for you, of course, on Saturday. Many will see this as an opportunity to put more pressure on Liverpool. Do you see it that way too? I see it as an opportunity to keep winning and continue our journey towards the goal we want at the end of the season, which is to win. And that's the only thing we can focus on. About wanting to win the league, of course. Since losing to Plymouth, Liverpool has won only one of their last 3 league games. They travel to Man City this weekend, as we know, all the ifs and buts, of course. But if you beat West Ham and Liverpool loses, on Sunday night the gap between you will be 5 points, plus you have a game in hand. How big can this weekend be in terms of the title race? I don't know about ifs in football and in sport, I don't like them. Let's do what we have to do, and then if comes, great. But let's make sure that what's in our hands, we do. And regarding what's in your hands, you yourself are unbeaten in 15 league games. Given that form, do you feel momentum is shifting back to your side, looking at exactly the right moment of the season? That's what we need, and that's something very important. When your energy and belief increase, results are behind you, performances are good, and everyone is having that shift in energy and belief. I think anything can happen. Can I ask if you're obsessed with winning the title this season because you've come close in the last 2 years? I'm obsessed with doing everything I can every day to achieve that. That's my obsession. But does that literally dominate your thoughts from the minute you wake up in the morning until you go to sleep at night? No. So you're not that obsessed with it? I'm very obsessed with the process of it. That does consume my whole day. Yes, I assure you of that. But it's the process, how you get there. The outcome, I cannot control. How much harder is it when you face a team like West Ham, which most people would say if you played that game 10 times, Arsenal would win 9 of them, i.e., a game you should win. How much harder is it to keep your team focused? I don't think anyone is thinking that way because we are very experienced in the Premier League and know how hard every opponent is. We have a history of what happened last year here at home against them. We have a history of what happened with them against us at the Emirates. So it's a very different feeling. And one about Mikel Merino. Last week, obviously, it was a gamble to put him as a forward. It paid off. Would you be prepared to gamble on that again, i.e., start him against West Ham and play someone who isn't a recognized striker? Well, I think, obviously, every time you make a move, you're betting on that player. What's that bet? I'm prepared to bet a certain amount of money to win a lot, and not bet much to win very little. In the end, it's about placing players in positions and roles and surrounding our players that we believe make sense, and can work, and they are comfortable with that. One last one on Bukayo Saka. Apparently, his rehab is going well. A few weeks ago, you said you were going to send him on holiday. You almost forced him to go and take a break because he needed one. Did he go? Where did you tell him to go? Where did you recommend he go on holiday? He went. That question is for him. If he wants to answer that. Regarding Merino, have you trained with him as a forward this week? We've trained over the last few weeks with different players. He was one of them. With other players too. It's not just how you can finish a game, it's how you start a game, how you change if the opponent does something different. Every 3 days too, we'll need different options. Can I ask about Raheem Sterling? He's had some difficult performances. How's his confidence at the moment? How much are you trying to build him up for what looks like a big part of his? Calafiori and White start, Lewis Skelly rests, Merino on the bench, Arsenal's lineup against West Ham. As the excitement builds for the Premier League clash against West Ham United, the Football to London team has gathered to share their thoughts on how Mikel Arteta should set up the Arsenal squad. This weekend's match comes on the heels of Arsenal learning their opponent for the Champions League round of 16, PSV Eindhoven. With a chance to reduce the gap to Liverpool to just 5 points, given their unequal games played before Liverpool's Sunday fixture against Manchester City, the stakes couldn't be higher. This weekend could be pivotal for the Gunners, especially as they look ahead to a challenging encounter against Nottingham Forest just 4 days later. With various opinions swirling around the lineup, the Football to London writers have weighed in on the best approach for this crucial match, particularly concerning the formation of the front three. Tom Santau's perspective, Arsenal simply cannot afford to drop points if they want to secure the league title. While the margin has closed, it's essential they capitalize on this momentum. The West Ham fixture is monumental, but the upcoming match against Nottingham Forest is equally significant. The challenge of rapid match turnaround requires thoughtful squad selection. I believe incorporating a change in fullbacks plays to our advantage tactically, especially with Ricardo Calafiori thriving in home matches, while Miles Lewis Skelly brings better control for away games during the week. I wouldn't place Mikel Merino at the top of the attack just yet. I discussed the situation with Arteta regarding the circumstances surrounding Merino's earlier success, where he scored twice, but we need to remember the context. Whether he starts on Saturday remains to be seen. Raheem Sterling, who received mixed reactions from fans recently, deserves to be in the lineup for this match, leaving Merino on the bench for now, with a chance to shine in the next game. Canton's predicted 11 against West Ham: Raya, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori, Partey, Rice, Odegaard, Nwaneri, Trossard, Sterling. Sam Amour's insights: with the potential for 4 consecutive Premier League wins, Arsenal can apply significant pressure on Liverpool, who will face a tough challenge at Manchester City. The Gunners have been defensively solid, conceding just 1 goal in their last 3 outings, and I expect that strength to continue against West Ham. David Raya should confidently guard the goal, with Gabriel and William Saliba providing a robust defensive partnership in front of him. Miles Lewis-Skelly deserves to retain his spot on the left, where he'll be tasked with neutralizing Jared Bowen's threat. On the opposite flank, I would rest Jurrien Timber and give Ben White the start he needs to regain his match fitness. In midfield, Thomas Partey, Declan Rice, and Martin Odegaard are my chosen trio, with Jorginho ready on the bench for added control if necessary. I'd also stick with the same front 3 that began against Leicester last weekend, which means Merino will have to settle for a place on the bench while Raheem Sterling gets a crucial opportunity to make an impact. Trulove's predicted 11: Raya, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Lewis-Skelly, Partey, Rice, Odegaard, Nwaneri, Trossard, Sterling. With the stakes so high, it's essential that Arteta makes these key decisions wisely, ensuring the team remains focused and ready to capitalize on every opportunity. Let's hope the Gunners rise to the occasion and secure a vital victory this weekend.